The time machine never meant to bring you here. Its dial spun past the markers of safe passage, and the world folded wrong, cracking you into a place that does not want you. When the glass clears, when the hiss of systems recedes, you stand amid a sea of color that should not exist yet. Petals stretching to the horizon, an eruption of shapes and perfumes no human lungs were ever meant to know. The air itself is visible, thick with drifting dust. It glimmers like smoke in the sunlight, settling in your visor's edges, painting every exhalation with a shimmer. The suit seals hold, but already you feel the suggestion of it. The way the pollen presses, hungry, searching for entry. You do not hear animals at first, only the breathing of the landscape. The stems sway, not as if moved by a gentle breeze, but as though the field itself exhales. The currents shift, invisible rivers of scent and particles sweeping through the plain. It is not silence that grips you, but the opposite. A low, constant vibration, the hum of wings hidden among petals, the scratch of bodies moving unseen. This is the Cretaceous, and flowers have just begun their conquest. Before them, forests ruled with naked branches and cones. Now something new sharpens the air, and it is not beauty, it is war. The colors are not meant for you. The fragrance is not a gift. The pollen, bright and abundant, is not decoration. It is a weapon honed by time older than any measure you know. The suit groans as filters adjust, straining against the invisible storm. Beyond the field, shadows rise. Shapes with long necks dip into the blossoms, their movements slow, indifferent to the storm that threatens to suffocate you. You recognize them from illustrations. Iguanodons, heads buried in flowers, swallowing entire patches at once. Their throats swell as they chew, releasing more of the golden dust into the air, thickening it. They live within this haze as if it were water, their lungs designed for it, their blood untroubled by what would tear you apart. You step forward, and the ground yields with a softness that betrays decay beneath. Roots knit tightly, locking you into the field. You cannot see where the flowers end, only that they rise in rolling tides, glowing under the sun like a fever dream. Somewhere above, you hear the drone deepen. Not wind, not thunder. Wings, broad, leathery, slicing the heat. A shadow ripples over the petals as a pterosaur glides past, its beak snapping at swarms of insects that churn above the blossoms. The insects themselves are not small. Some shimmer like shards of metal, their bodies larger than your fist, their wings vibrating so fast they blur. They dive into the flowers, vanish, then reappear with their bodies heavy with dust, scattering it in clouds. You understand dimly that you are not walking into a meadow. You are entering a furnace of invisible fire, one that burns not with heat but with particles designed to invade. You have one defense, the suit. This filters, it seems, its temporary strength. But the suit is not forever. The air presses harder. The first breath feels heavier. You are already running out of time. You try to measure your steps, but the field swallows scale. Every patch of flowers looks the same. Every stem the height of your chest. Every horizon flat yet trembling with haze. You move, but you cannot tell if you are advancing or only sinking deeper into repetition. The air thickens further. Your visor smears yellow where particles accumulate, forcing the helmet's microwipers to sweep in constant nervous strokes. The sound is soft, rhythmic, yet it reminds you of a heartbeat. Too fast, too fragile. Behind it, the filters moan as they work, drawing the impossible dust into their tiny throats. The pollen is not random. It surges in waves, carried by winds that seem to change direction without reason. At one moment, the field leans east, and the dust flows against you. The next moment it reverses, hammering your chest with invisible fists. You begin to understand, movement here is not only about distance but about orientation. The flowers weaponize the wind, and the wind is never yours. Your suit itches from the pressure. Each seam feels like a point of intrusion, every joint a fragile hinge begging to fail. You flex your hands, feel the dampness of sweat trapped inside your gloves. The claustrophobia of sealed fabric deepens. The outside wants you, and the inside rejects you. You pause, Ahead, the petals shift into a pattern of blazing reds. They are larger here, their faces open like mouths, their stalks bending under the weight of color. A shape darts between them, a beetle massive, its carapace ridged like armor, wings catching light in metallic flashes. It vanishes into one blossom, then emerges dragging strands of powder that shimmer like smoke. Each movement stirs the air. Each disturbance thickens the golden fog. The beetle disappears again, as if the flower itself swallowed it whole. Your ears strain for sound, but the world is muffled. The suit amplifies your breathing until it drowns the external noise. Yet when the field stirs, when something vast moves beneath the surface, you feel it in your feet. The soil trembles, shallow, inconsistent, like something shifting roots, something that does not care about you but will destroy you by accident. You look up. The sky is not relief. It swarms with drifting shapes. Insects suspended on the wind, their wings so thin they seem immaterial. Some are carried helplessly, others cut deliberate paths, swerving, colliding, vanishing. A dragonfly passes above you, its wingspan broader than your arms, its compound eyes glinting with alien geometry. It hovers, then plunges into the field, snapping up a smaller form with a crack of mandibles. Dust sprays upward in a cloud, raining down across your helmet. The filters groan louder. A warning light flashes red inside your visor, small but merciless. The system counts hours, not days. You have come here with no preparation for this kind of storm. You think of shelter, but there is none. The field is endless, the stems too thin to hide behind, the ground too unstable to trust. The iguanodons that wander here are oblivious, their bulk scattering blossoms as they feed. To follow them is suicide. They are vectors, their hides smeared with the same dust, their footsteps stirring whirlwinds of particles. Yet to stay still is no option either. The air gathers around you like water, pressing, searching, infiltrating. You shift your weight and the ground sucks at your boot. Not mud, something else. The roots below interlock so tightly that they form mats, and your step tears into them. A faint scent leaks through the filters, sweet and cloying, and for a moment you wonder if your suit already failed. The sweetness is almost narcotic, almost seductive, and it takes all your focus to push forward instead of sinking. Movement becomes survival. The dust is heaviest where it swirls, lightest where it slides away. The instinct forms. You must move against it into the wind, where the storm is thinner, where each breath buys a little more time. But the wind shifts again, and the field breathes. Your visor display flickers, recalibrating as the filter load increases. Warnings multiply in quiet red glyphs. There is no voice to guide you, only the memory of training, protocols for alien atmospheres, for air never meant to be breathed. They reform inside your skull as commandments, not advice. Rule 1. Always move against the wind. The pollen travels as a tide, thickening where the current drags it. If you move with the flow, it surrounds you, doubling the saturation, coating every seam of your suit. Against the wind, the pressure pushes particles away from your filters, buying seconds of relief. Break this rule, and you drown standing upright. The suit clogs, airflow collapses, and you suffocate in a sea of flowers that never touch you. Rule 2. Never touch the petals. They are coated in fine hairs invisible to the eye, bristling with more dust than the air itself. One brush, even the lightest, and the particles smear across your visor, clinging with static charge. Touch them with a glove, and you carry the poison with you, spreading it to every seal, every joint. The pollen does not wash, it embeds. Disobey, and you turn yourself into a beacon of contamination, the storm following your every step. Rule 3. Keep your body higher than the stems. The densest concentration of particles lies low, where the flowers release their burden close to the soil. The haze rises and falls, but the ground-level air is a reservoir, choked with invisible sediment. If you kneel, if you stumble, if you fall, you place your filters directly where the cloud is thickest. Down there, even the iguanodons lift their heads to feed, refusing the poisoned bottom. Forget this rule and you will not stand up again. Rule 4. Do not follow the giants. The herbivores seem harmless, placid, slow, their jaws grinding petals in endless rhythm. Yet each mouthful they tear loose releases new clouds. Their hides are heavy with dust, shaken loose by every movement of their limbs, their tails, their steps. Stay near them, and you breathe their storm before your own. To follow their trails is to follow death in motion. Rule 5. Trust no silence. The field never sleeps. Wings, roots, shifting stalks, there is always motion, always vibration. When silence falls, it is because the air has thickened to suffocation, insects pinned still in the density, larger animals pausing under the weight of particles. If you mistake this silence for safety, you will stand motionless as your filters drown. Silence here is not rest, it is a verdict. Rule 6. Do not trust the sweetness. Even through filters, the scent breaches. The flowers are not offering perfume to you, but to others, beetles, dragonflies, the primitive bees that vanish into their mouths. The sweetness draws them, ensnares them, coats them. You are not immune. Already it whispers to your lungs, even muted. To inhale too deeply, to relax into the cloying lure, is to weaken. Break this rule and you will stop resisting the haze. You will welcome it until your body fails. Rule 7. Keep moving. The pollen settles on stillness. Particles seek surfaces, searching for contact, gravity pulling them onto every resting point. Motion disrupts this, shaking free the thin film that would otherwise smother. If you linger, you collect the field on your skin, your visor, your joints. If you stop, you are already becoming a part of it. The rules repeat themselves in your head, hard and mechanical. You step forward, turning into the breeze, watching the stems bend as guides. The air claws at you but thins with each movement against its flow. The suit hisses, clearing its channels. For a moment, the instructions feel like a lifeline. You are no longer lost in color. You are a machine obeying law. But law cannot hold forever. The field waits for the first mistake. The rules keep you moving. They carve a path through chaos, each step measured against the invisible current. For a time, the system works. Your lungs draw easier, the filters hum instead of groan, and the haze thins just enough to let you see more than a few meters ahead. You almost believe survival is possible. Then the wind turns. It does not shift gently, it collapses. One moment the field leans east, the next it shudders, all stalks snapping upright in unison. A silence floods the plain, a pause as if every stem inhales. Then the gust strikes, brutal, a reversal so violent it throws blossoms sideways. The dust detonates into the air, a golden storm folding over you, hammering your visor until the world becomes opaque. The first rule fails. You try to pivot to face the new current, but your boots sink into the root mat below. The soil softens under pressure, your legs swallowed to the shin. You wrench upward, tearing free. But in that moment, you stumble low, your chest dropping into the level of the stems. The third rule fails. The haze thickens instantly, heavier near the ground, and your filters choke. Red warnings multiply, pulsing like veins across your visor. Each breath drags resistance, the system straining to push oxygen through a clogging mesh. You cough inside the helmet, absurd, knowing the sound cannot relieve anything. You push yourself up, stagger forward. The flowers tower over you now, monstrous, their petals gaping with powder. A beetle bursts from one and collides with your visor. Strikes so hard the glass vibrates. Its body smears a yellow streak across the surface. The second rule fails. You claw at the stain, forgetting your gloves are no cleaner than the field. The pollen spreads under your touch, streaking wider. The wipers drag it into arcs, transforming your view into a blur of smeared gold. Behind it, shadows move, giant necks swaying, jaws tearing flowers, but they are only phantoms through the film. Breath comes harder. The filters choke in pulses, drawing less, giving less. The sweetness presses deeper, breaching the mask in phantom leaks. You are dizzy, your limbs weighted. For the first time, you feel something like desire for the air outside, the unfiltered, the raw. You imagine tearing the helmet loose, just for one deep breath of the fragrant storm. The sixth rule cracks. Above, the sky rips open with sound. The leathery wings return, pterosaurs circling lower, snapping at the swarms fattened on pollen. Their dives stir hurricanes, dragging the haze into spirals. One passes so near you feel the shockwave rattle your chest plate. The storm of dust doubles, impossible to resist. The fifth rule fails, silence never returns. You stumble into motion, obeying the seventh law because it is the only one left. Keep moving, but the body rebels. Every step is heavier, every joint sluggish. Your visor is blind with gold, your filters drowning, your skin a furnace of sweat. The rules break not because you forget them, but because the field does not care. The flowers release their burden without pause. The insects multiply their storms. The giants churn the air with their feeding. Survival here is not a contest of memory, but of endurance, and your suit was never built for eternity. Somewhere in the blur, a new shadow rises, taller than flowers, swaying slow. For a moment you think it is another iguanodon, but the proportions are wrong, longer, heavier, tail dragging with a weight that bends stalks. It does not pause to feed. It simply moves, indifferent, its body scattering dust like a hurricane's wake. You realize then, the rules cannot save you. They only postpone, and postponement is ending. You run, though the word no longer fits. Each step is a collapse forward, your body half dragged by momentum, half buoyed by the shifting current. The suit squeals at every joint. Its seals, once perfect, now sound like teeth grinding. You are moving, but you are not escaping. The field stretches in every direction, an endless repetition of bloom and dust, bloom and dust. The visor is nearly blind. The smear from the beetle has dried into a hardened crust. Catching each particle, the storm drives against it. The wipers only drag it into streaks, leaving golden veins that fracture your sight. Shapes loom and vanish. Some are giants feeding, some are insects hurtling, some are only illusions born from your mind's desperation. You no longer know which. The filter sees. First one, then the other. The airflow falls to a trickle, a shallow gasp of machinery choking on the density of the storm. The suit issues its final alarm, a shrill, continuous tone that fills the helmet until it becomes your entire world. You claw at your chest as though you could silence it, but the noise only sharpens. Each breath is a labor, dragging fragments of oxygen through a mesh clogged with gold. You remember the rules, but they scatter like petals in the gale. Move against the wind. Impossible now, the currents have fractured into vortices. Do not touch the petals, your gloves are caked in them. Stay above the stems, your knees buckle and drag you lower. Do not follow the giants, you are blind, stumbling near the sound of their feeding jaws. Do not trust silence. There is no silence anymore, only the storm. Do not trust the sweetness. It fills your skull, clogs your thoughts, makes you want to stop. Keep moving, your legs refuse. One by one, they fail and you fail with them. You fall to the level of the flowers. The ground welcomes you with a softness that is almost tender. The stems close in, brushing your helmet, their hairs smearing more dust across the glass. Inside, the air is syrup. Your lungs convulse, dragging in less than they need. A hollow pressure builds in your chest, your heartbeat hammering in panic, then staggering as oxygen thins. The sweetness is overwhelming now. It is no longer perfume but flood, drowning every thought. You hear yourself sigh inside the helmet, a sound of surrender you did not mean to make. The rules are gone. There is only fragrance and color, and the golden veil that thickens until nothing exists beyond it. Through the blur you glimpse movement, an iguanodon lifting its head, its muzzle drenched in pollen. It does not see you, and never will. It exhales a long, slow breath, and its cloud merges with yours, doubling the weight of air pressing into your failing suit. Above it, the shadow of a pterosaur arcs, wings carving the storm into swirls that engulf you entirely. The field accepts you into its cycle. You are no intruder. You are substrate. The helmet fogs from within. Not dust this time, condensation from your own breath, ragged, uneven, failing. The alarms fade as the suit loses power, or as your brain ceases to register them. The gold becomes everything. In your sight, in your lungs, in your blood. The field blooms without pause, indifferent to the collapse of one more creature unfit for its air. Your last thought, if it can be called thought, is not fear but pressure. The sense of being filled, swollen with a substance that was never yours. The flowers breathe and you stop.